So, you know that feeling when you meet someone and just click? Like the universe went, yep, these two. Meant to be. Maybe it's a first date. Maybe you lock eyes across the room. Maybe your hands accidentally brush and just like that, instant connection. Feels like fate, right? But is that actually a thing? Or are we simply idealizing coincidence? Let's talk about it. Hey everyone, welcome. I talk about all the things you want to hear, and maybe a few things you don't. And today, we're tackling the big one, soulmates. Real? Myth? Or just a clever marketing strategy to sell more engagement rings? Let's get into it. Alright, so let's take it back, way back. The whole soulmate idea isn't some new age concept. It goes all the way back to ancient Greece. Like ancient Greece ancient. Plato had this wild theory that humans used to be these big, round creatures with 4 arms, 4 legs, and 2 faces. Yeah, I know. Kind of terrifying. But apparently, the gods got nervous about how powerful we were, and, boom, split us in half. Ever since, we've been wandering the earth, looking for our other half. It's a cute story. But let's be honest, if we were all just halves of one missing person, what happens if your soulmate lives in, let's say, Iceland, and you're stuck in Nigeria? What if they lived 200 years ago? The whole thing kinda falls apart. But that doesn't stop us from wanting it to be true. There's something comforting about the idea that there's one perfect person out there, just waiting to complete us. Like, no matter how bad your love life is, eventually, the universe is going to drop the one into your path, and boom, happily ever after. No effort required. But real talk, that's not how love works. Let's get a little nerdy. Science says love isn't about fate, it's about chemistry. Literally. When we connect with someone, our brains release dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, the whole feel-good cocktail. That's why love feels like a drug. Because, well, it kind of is. But here's the part no one likes to talk about. That high. It fades. Studies show that the obsessive butterflies in your stomach phase. It lasts anywhere from 6 months to 2 years max. After that, love becomes less about feelings and more about choices. And that's where the soulmate idea gets messy. If you believe there's only one person out there for you, what happens when your relationship hits a rough patch? Do you start thinking, maybe they weren't my soulmate after all, and bail? Do you keep searching for that perfect, effortless connection that never fades? This is where the idea of soulmates can actually be harmful. It makes us think love should be effortless. That if it's meant to be, it'll just work. But anyone who's been in a long-term relationship will tell you, that's not how it goes. Even the happiest couples argue. Even the strongest relationships have bad days. The difference? The best couples don't just find each other and live in some fairy tale bubble. They choose each other. Every single day. Even when it's hard. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying deep once-in-a-lifetime connections don't exist. They absolutely do. There are people who just get you in a way that others don't. But maybe it's not about some magical predestined fate. Maybe it's about effort. Maybe soulmates aren't found, they are built. Think about it. The happiest couples you know, did they just stumble into perfect harmony? Or did they work at it? Learn from each other? Grow together? And here's another thing we don't talk about enough. What if we don't have just one soulmate? What if we have multiple? Not just in a romantic sense, but in life, friends, mentors, even family members who just click with us on a deep level. What if a soulmate isn't just one person, but anyone who changes your life in a meaningful way? I mean, think about it. Most of us have had people come into our lives who felt so important, only for things to eventually fade. Does that mean they weren't the one? Or just that their role in our story was meant to be temporary? So, are soulmates real? Maybe not in the fairy tale sense, but in the deep, meaningful connections. Absolutely. And the key is knowing that love isn't something you stumble into, it's something you create. Alright, that's it for today. Let me know in the comments, do you believe in soulmates? Or do you think it's all just wishful thinking? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Oh, and if you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one.